First of all, without Higuain, what kind of things do you expect out of them lineup-wise and kind of their attack?
Well, it's a little bit of uncertainty, you know. I mean, obviously, there's different things they can do. They could move Aduro up front to partner with Arrieta. They could stay in their formation, have a Norb maybe play the more attacking role, do more of the role that Higuain did. But he's such an important part of their team, and he plays with such freedom in their style of play. You know that he's a hard guy to replace. But it makes it a little more uncertain as to how they're going to play.
The way you guys are playing as well, how important is it to carry momentum from that 1-0 game on Sunday?
Well, obviously the Portland game was a big game. It was an emotional game, and the hard part for us is coming off an emotional game to make sure that emotionally and psychologically we're back in this game. Physically, there's enough days there. We're recovered physically, but it's a matter of our mentality. Every coach I knew once said every up game you have like that, you're going to have a down game, and it was a big emotional up game, an important game. And we got to make sure that we emotionally come in with the right frame of mind into this game.
Without Sanchez in the middle of midfield, they've been going with Will Trapp. Young player, but obviously accomplished for his age. Is that a position you guys might be able to take advantage of?
No, I mean, I think Will's a good player. I saw Will when I was here in Columbus, when he was an academy kid and he was 13, 14 and started going up to, Brad Friedel's group up there. And you could tell then that he was a player with talent. He was a very intelligent player on the field. He was very alert. He was very aware of where the game was. It wasn't like he wowed you with just physical dominance, but he wowed you with his soccer knowledge on the field. And he's been able to carry that over. He had a good run, obviously, with the under-20s. Had a good run as well with Akron, and and he's been doing well for the crew. So he's a player that we respect, even though he's a young player. But hopefully we can make his life and the life of the other midfielders difficult tomorrow night.
With another week in the group, how's Clint Dempsey kind of coming along, and how is it for him playing in the stadium with his picture on the front of it?
Yeah, the guys were giving him stick about that coming in. It's just another week for him, and it's good for him to have another week with our team. Allows him to get more integrated. We need him to get on the board. I think because he's putting pressure on himself, and I need him to take that pressure off himself. So if he picks up that goal or picks up an assist, that'll help to take that pressure off. But every game gets us a little closer to understanding how this whole thing's going to work.
With losing 3 players to national team duty after this one, does that kind of add some importance to this game?
No, we'll worry about that after this game, but we certainly want to, get the points, and we know that we've got to make some changes for our game against Chivas, which is a rescheduled game, and so instead of missing our national team guys for 1 game, we end up now having to miss them for 2 games, which is important because Chivas is one of the games in hand. But we got to worry about this game, and we get our points from this game.
What does it say about this group to have 3 guys in there, and most of any team with the U.S. national team?
Well, I mean, it's great. It's great, especially. I mean, obviously Clint was the guy who was there and who was in the national team group. But Eddie Johnson put himself back in the national team picture once he came back to Seattle, and Brad has pushed himself into the national team picture. So we're proud of the fact that as a club we've been able to play good enough, soccer that it allowed them to get exposure and to get seen, and given them the opportunities to go to the national team.
Speaking of Brad, Sigi, if you can think back to, and you had him in 05 at the under-20s, you knew him probably from Blue Star and Irvine, and drafted him in the second round. Think back to that to now. What's the biggest? Did you have any idea that this guy would be pushing to be a regular with the first group of the national team?
Well, you always hope that for every player, but you're not quite sure. With us, with the under-20s, he made our team then because for exactly the same reason that he got into the national team picture, because he was a guy who could play a number of different positions. He was a guy who worked hard. He was a guy who came in with a good attitude every day. Getting him here in Columbus was important. He took advantage of his opportunity when Adam Moffat got injured that year and jumped in and had a very good season, made those late runs going forward, and when we had the opportunity then to get him in Seattle, they did. And so it was great to come to Seattle and see that he was there. And since then his games, I think, progressed. And Jurgen sees him obviously as a right back, but we've talked about it. He doesn't have issues with him playing midfield for us and right back for them. But it's you know, he's continued to plug away, he's continued to work hard, and he's continued to take advantage of the opportunities when they get presented to him. And I think the goal that he scored in Jamaica was probably one of those defining moments. I think with that goal and with the game that he played, that really pushed him a little firmer into the group than he had been before.
You guys have been so intertwined. I mean, you drafted him, and he's been with you as a pro his whole career. Has there been a moment? I think you remember West Ham in '08. He scored the own goal, and after the game, you had a one-on-one with him, which was kind of unusual. And I remember I said, Ziggy, you know, I thought you were reaming him out or something. And no, it was a pat on the back kind of thing. 2 games after that, Moffat and Migliorenzzi were out, and that's when he kind of
got his opportunity.
went right into it. I mean, do you remember that? I mean, was that a moment? Was that?
No, Brad is the kind of player, he's very hard on himself. So, you know, that situation was one where he was really hard on himself and down, and you know, there's talent that's there. So my talking to him at that point was mainly about, you know, don't lose faith in yourself, continue to believe in yourself. You know, shit happens sometimes, you know, can't necessarily use that, but, you know, it happens, and now you've got to be ready for the next opportunity that presents itself. So that was a conversation that we had.
Why now with him at age 28 instead of, say, 23? I mean,
comes to different people at different times, you know. The opportunity, you got to be, you know, a little bit of luck, but luck is where preparation meets opportunity. So the opportunity came along, he was prepared, and so some people think he's lucky, and he is, but you can't be lucky unless you're prepared, and he's prepared to take advantage of it.
Give your full 90 with the Sounders FC mobile app, featuring live audio, matchday blog, and much more to keep you connected. Download your app at soundersfc.com/mobile.